Welcome to the daily study of the Way of Mastery. Today we continue with Lesson 1, The Way That Calls You Home, and Section 2, The First Step in Awakening. And we're going to look at paragraphs 6, 7, and 8. Jeshua says, "The way of the heart is not the way of the intellect. For indeed, that aspect of the mind was never designed to be your master. It was designed to be the humble and, if you will pardon the expression, very stupid servant of the awakened heart." And we live in a world and a culture right now that almost worships the intellect. And the intellect is not a bad thing. It's just limited. But it doesn't know its own limitation. It wasn't designed to be the master. We try and figure everything out in our head and think and overthink and worry and strategize and analyze. I think because it gives a false sense to us that we're safe. If we can analyze all the angles, then we can make the perfect right decision that's going to give us the best outcome to keep us safe, to make us happy, to do all the things. So that's not the way of the heart. The intellect can serve a purpose as the servant of the heart. Next paragraph, Jeshua says, "The heart is that which feels all things, embraces all things, trusts all things, and allows all things. The heart is that in which the soul rests eternally. The heart is that which is beyond space and time, and is that spark of light in the mind of God, which is called Christ. Only in that will you find the peace that you seek." Let's unpack this baby. The heart is that which feels all things. So there's no feeling that's unacceptable, too big, not good. The heart feels all things. It embraces all things. It embraces all things because it knows, it doesn't think. The intellect thinks, the heart knows. It embraces all things because it knows that all is of God. All is of the mind of God, of the divine. And it trusts all things for the same reason. If you do know, but your head doesn't. Your head doesn't get that the divine, everything in creation is of the divine. And in those moments, if you've been able to touch or taste those moments, for me, they happen quite frequently during revelation breath work, but you could experience them in moments of meditation, in moments of exercise, in moments of lovemaking, in moments of cooking. It's like meditation helps us get out of our sense of separateness and connect to the universal life energy. So the heart trusts all things because it knows that everything is of the divine, especially if you're going through a tough situation. The heart trusts that that situation is being used by the divine to reveal to us where we have blocks to love so that we can make a different choice. And the heart allows all things. It doesn't resist anything. It doesn't make anything wrong or bad. It allows everything. The next one is the heart is that in which the soul rests eternally. And this idea, this truth of eternality, that we are not a body mind, that we aren't only alive for, if we're lucky, 80 plus years, that we exist beyond the body eternally. The heart is that which is beyond time and space and is that spark of light in the mind of God, which is called Christ. So Jeshua on page 5 of my edition defines what Christ means. It's not the last name of a man named Jesus. It's the spark of light in the mind of God. And as we'll learn more as we go through the rest of the text, it's you. It's your true essence, your true nature. So Jeshua is saying the heart is that spark of light in the mind of God. Another analogy in a chapter coming up is that the mind of God is this ocean of love, and it expresses itself uniquely as you, as one of the waves. And so you are the heart. You are the wave expressing itself from the ocean of love. You are the spark of light in the mind of God, that God, again, not the old man in the sky, this universal, loving, infinite, omnipotent, energy, conscious energy, has loved you into existence. You are the heart, you are the spark of light, which is called Christ. That is your true identity. And if that word triggers you because of old conditioning and old just lies that you've been told, that Jesus Christ was some special dude with magical powers that you don't have. Like if that triggers, that's going to trigger, it might trigger that Jesus wound within you. That's okay. Embrace it, feel it, allow it. Consider some of the other teachings that we've been sharing so far through this text. And Jeshua ends with, only in that will you find the peace that you seek. Only in that, only in identifying as the Christ will you find the peace that you seek. Because the Christ is your true nature. It is the spark of light in the mind of God. It is the heart. And that's what you are. So Jeshua, the Christ. Jason, the Christ. Mary, the Christ. Renee, the Christ. Jordan, the Christ. Emmett, the Christ. Harry, the Christ. Every person that you see, you can imagine that they introduce themselves as this. And you shake their hands and say, oh, nice to meet you, Jordan, the Christ. You're acknowledging the true identity of that being in front of you, their true source. What a cool thing to do in your own mind that you can do anytime you want. And only in that will you find the peace that you seek. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow with another deep dive.